Hi guys, today I am going to review this book, Art of Business, which I bought from Amazon. So this book is about China, how the Chinese got rich, as the book says. So it is written by Greg Clydesdale. So primarily what this book consists of is of the answers for the question all we have, that is how China got rich. So in this book the author tells about the history of China for past 2000 years, in which he tells China was not poor. China became poor during the 18th century, that is the year of the European colonization. So during that time they became poor, and aftermath during the era of communism they became poor. So that they call it the era of shame or something like that. So in this book we can see the economy of China, which is directly dependent upon the Confucianism theories. Say some part of Confucianism theories tell that the business and making money, keeping lots of money in one person is bad. Money has to be donated, everything should be available free for the people. So such theorists, when the government relies on, or the whatever dynasties which believes in such theories, that time the businessmen will be restricted, that movement of the people will be restricted, and there will be so lot of restrictions on the jobs a person or a family can take. So those times China was poor, and other times when those dynasties of Qing dynasty and Ming dynasty and Song dynasty, especially in Song dynasty, they were pro business, they needed more money in terms of tax revenues to build strong armies to defend themselves from the invaders of the north. So they promoted the business, and as well as the time the major peoples in the Confucianism believed that fair trade is ethical, you have a market which is fair, which is not manipulated, which is dependent solely on the demand and supply. Say for example, a market which sells rice, it should be dependent only on the amount of rice coming to the market and the demand, the number of people wanting to buy that rice. It should not be manipulated by keeping some part of rice or some stock of rice in some places, so that it won't be given to the market, so that the price can be raised. So these things are prohibited in Confucianism, and same thing the government also enacted with the help of the government officials. So this was the time in the history of China, in past 2000 years, where China was rich. So one major thing which helped Chinese economy during the last 1000 years was the waterways. So China had built lot of waterways. It connected small rivers, and also made big canals, so that the movement of goods was more economical, more easy. Say for example, there was lot of trade between rice, tea and salt. Even though salt and tea were monopolized, rice was a free trade. So if a particular place grows more rice, the traders used to get those rice and move it to some other places where the rice is needed. So that way there was a market, and traders used to make huge sum of money. And it says how the economy grew during those periods. There was a lot of waterways, there was good businessmen who owned ships, and a lot of traders who made money by making the different prices in different markets, making movement of different goods. And then there were a lot of different people who were helping these people to load, unload the cargoes in the ships, like some specialist brokers who is going to take care of all your trades. You may get when the time your ship arrives, so that time there might be scarcity of particular item, so that they will buy and keep. So these are some examples, like how the trade helps different category of people, not only those who involve in just transporting some particular goods. So this is the first part, where during the some early Song dynasty, where the internal economy of China grew by three things. One, strong government policies which helped or which was pro business people and which helped business people maintain proper order in the market. Like no one can cheat you, no one can rob you. Strong government officers patrolling the ports and transportation. So this helped China or Chinese merchants to conduct good trade and grow themselves. So then next part comes when China traded with other parts of the world. Like so first it traded with India, and it had some good items like porcelain materials. So those materials, they were invented in China and they were good at making that one. So that was the good business, and a lot of it was traded with India, and India used to send silver. And then this slowly from India, these Europeans and English people took it to London and other Arabian nations. So that time, and even the silk, as we know, the silk route. So the silk was the biggest international trade for the Chinese. So this gave them lot of opportunity for the people, as well as the government got lot of revenue until this opium war. Lot of revenue was generated by the government. And then this book covers lot of things which were happening, like the issues with the government officials. They used to, even though they were educated with the Confucianism, they used to take bribes and take more unwanted extra fees from those boarding the ships. So then this book covers some of the things like evolution of art. So when the China's economy, there were times when it was rich, so it got interested, the people got interested in arts, and they have covered those times in art also. So you can see some arts. Let me show you some arts. Yeah, see this. Yeah, this we can see in this picture. So it is a market. Okay, it's a market where, say, traders used to load and ship the materials, and then those will be a market where the big traders used to go into buy it from the wholesalers, and small farmers used to go into sell it to the retail wholesale dealers. And those market won't just consist of just a rice or other items traded. It will have some restaurants and wine shop, etc. So it was a big city developed over there. So that was how a city was flourishing during that time. That's one thing it was in this book they have explained. So if you go other parts of this book, so it says of the Qing dynasty. So the last dynasty before the communist was the Qing dynasty. So during which the trade was good. So apart from this, yeah, till the opium war, they were rich. And what happened during the opium war? So the Europeans got a major hand, and then all their businesses were depletion during this communist rule also. So if you read this book, you will get to know a lot of things, like some strange things, like even we say hedge fund. So there was a time when Chinese investors or rich people used to give money to some talented people who were going to invest it in some different kind of trade, and give them around 10-20 times of the money, and then they are going to charge some 30 to 35% of the revenue. So these are some of modern things which we cannot imagine, which were existed during that time, that the funds, etc., which used to be invested. So overall in this book you get to know how a particular economy gets to rich, and how the same particular economy becomes poor. Say during, there was a time when in particular some kingdoms who believed that trade should be banned, they restricted all the movement of people, and they were restricted to change their job also. During that time there was no trade, nobody could travel, and that time it was the time when people got poor and the country also got poor. So for me it answered most of the questions how China is what is today, the richest one of the fastest growing or second or third rich country. So yeah, it's a good book one could read. Thank you.